Today we're talking about the dark side of the internet. What is the deep web and what is a dark web? And the differences between them and the normal net, and at the end of the video, I will tell you some of the horror stories that happens on the deep and dark web. Welcome to Mystery Tales, and let's get into it. Let's start by differentiating between the three types of the internet. The normal net is the internet we're using every day, like Google, Facebook, YouTube, and many more. Basically, the sites and web pages we're using without any special access. The next stage is the deep web. On the deep web, the identity of the user is unknown, which basically means you can say anything without revealing your identity. And usually it's used by journalists and whistleblowers who fear for their lives and would like to keep their identity hidden. The most famous whistleblower who used the deep web was Edward Snowden. He leaked thousands of documents about the American government, even though he was working with the CIA. The third and most dangerous level of the internet is the dark web. It is where most heinous crimes are committed, like selling weapons. And when I'm saying selling weapons, I'm not talking about pistols or firearms. I'm talking about tanks and rocket launchers, which are usually bought by militia and terrorist groups like ISIS and Al-Qaeda. There is also on the dark web human trafficking and organ trading, and usually these organs are illegally taken by force, and person is killed after harvesting the needed organs. Additionally, on the dark web, you can also find a lot of websites that sell illegal drugs. There are even sites for killing people. You can hire a professional hitman from the dark web to perform assassinations on your behalf. With total anonymity, even the hitman will not know your identity. They are usually hired by large corporations or even countries to perform assassinations on high-profile targets. They can even make it look like an accident. So, basically, the dark web is not for the average users. It is specifically made for total anonymity and usually used for illegal activities, which is ironic since the Tor project that started the deep web and the dark web was a project made by the US Marine. It was made to facilitate the communication between all the military branches with total anonymity in the mid-1990s. But in 2004, the Tor project became open-sourced and can be used by anyone using the free Tor browser. And that opened the gates of hell. Suddenly, anyone working in illegal or criminal activity have easy access to a huge market to sell his products or services without fear of being caught. Now the question is, how can Tor browser keep the identity of the user hidden? In a very basic and simple way, every device has a unique fingerprint, which is called IP address. It can reveal who you are, where you are, and what are you using the internet for. So when using Tor browser, as your gate to the internet, it changes your IP address very quickly and randomly. For example, if the user is from the US, Tor browser takes his IP address and suddenly changes it. As if the user is in France, suddenly he's in South Africa, suddenly he's in Ghana, suddenly he's in China, then suddenly he's in Russia. So after a lot of fast and random changes in the IP address, no one can track where the IP originally came from, which makes the user anonymous simply because no one can track his IP address. Now for some horrifying stories from the dark web. But keep in mind that I can't talk in details about these crimes, as YouTube might delete the video before I can even say the word onion. And God bless your heart if you didn't get that joke. One of the most famous sites on the dark web is the Silk Road. It is a huge market. Basically, it's like Amazon, but for all kinds of drugs from cannabis to opioids, even heroin and some hardcore drugs that I have never heard about. Silk Road managed to sell drugs for over $1.7 billion in 1 year, and that made the US government seek hackers to help track down the owner of this site. And in 2013, the hackers tracked the owner of Silk Road and helped the government to put him behind bars. But that didn't stop the illegal activities on Silk Road. And after just few months, Silk Road 2.0 was founded. And every time the government shut down one of these sites, another version of Silk Road pops up on the dark web. The next story, which you have to listen to very carefully, because it shows how ignorance can destroy everything. In 2004, the deep web and the dark web were very new and exciting, so a teenager was chatting with some random man on the deep web, and they started arguing about something stupid. So the teenager told the man, "You know I can kill you." So the man moved quickly and hired a hacker to track down the location of the kid and an assassin to finish him as quickly as possible. In just few days, this kid was in a hospital suffering from stab wounds in his chest. The police couldn't track the man or the assassin and moved quickly to make new identities for the kid and his family. Then they moved them far away from their state. The third and most horrifying stories from the dark web are the stories of the Red Rooms. The Red Room is a closed room with person tied to a chair or bed with a camera filming them live. Then another person gets into the room and start taking orders from the viewers about what to do to the person tied down. These orders are how to torture this person. The person tied down is alive and conscious, and these orders are gruesome torture techniques, and usually ends up by the person dead. These orders can be anything like decapitating or cutting the limbs or skinning the person alive. There's a lot of other gruesome stories on the deep and dark web, but I can't talk about everything on this video. So that was today's video about the deep and dark web and their differences from the normal net. Thanks for watching to the end. Don't forget to subscribe if you liked the video. This has been Mystery Tales, and see you in the next video.